Hi, everyone. We're going to begin our June ACT training webinar in about 4 minutes. So stay with us. We will begin shortly. Thank you. Hello, everyone. In just about 2 minutes, we'll begin this month's session for the ACT training webinar, and that'll start in just 2 minutes. Thanks for joining us, everyone. In 1 minute, we'll begin. Just going to wait a few more moments here to allow everybody to join us on time. But in 1 minute, we will begin this webinar for taking your marketing to the next level with ACT. All right, we're at the top of the hour. That means we should begin. So thank you, everybody, for joining us for this month's ACT training webinar. For those of you who are new to this series, we're going to cover a variety of topics over the next hour or so. In the meantime, I just want you to know that this is being recorded. So at the end of, when we're finished, we will email a link to this recording out to you to whatever email address you used when you registered. Also, you can view this webinar and any previous webinar on demand by going to act.com/explore. And we'll talk about that towards the end of the webinar also. Once again, we know that these webinars do like to elicit some questions from the audience. So if you have questions, please put those in the Q&A panel in Zoom. So just go to your Zoom toolbar, and I think there's a More button there. If you click that More button, you should see a Q&A option. That's where we're going to field all of our questions. Um, Today I've got, who do I have here with me? I've got Mark and Ed on the line here from the UK. So they're going to help field those questions for you. Also, at the end of this webinar, you may receive a survey. We really do read all of these surveys. We take those to heart. Anything that you thought we did well or anything we can improve upon, please let us know. Also, if you have ideas for future webinars, if you have any suggestions, something you'd like to know more about with regards to ACT, just include that in the survey, and that'll help us sort of shape where we take this webinar in the months to come. But this month, for June 2025, we're going to talk about next level marketing. Market smarter, not harder. And what we want to do here is to show you some ideas on how you can take marketing to the next level by using ACT. So if you're looking to get more out of your marketing and you don't really want to add more to your plate, you're in the right place. And whether you're sending maybe your first campaign, or you've been doing this for a while and you want to tighten up your strategy, today's session is really all about using ACT to do more with what you already have. You're going to be using your audience, your data, and your time. Of course, we know that today's business environment is really unpredictable, probably more so than ever. And what we want to do is just talk about some simple, practical ways that we can help you make your outreach more impactful and more efficient so that every effort that you put into it goes further. Here's what we're going to cover today. First, we're going to show you how to segment smarter. We want you to be able to target the right people at the right time with tools within ACT, like dynamic groups, behavioral filters, maybe some additional features that we've added recently. Second, we're going to dive into some integrated workflows. And the goal here, what we really want to do here is show you how you can sync your marketing team and your sales efforts so that you can drive action going forward. And finally, we're going to explore smarter metrics. So what should you be tracking? How should you interpret that set of data? And then how do you use insights to keep improving your results? Now, I'm going to be doing this with demos all along the way. So you won't be just looking at still slides. You're going to watch me do this in ACT itself. So let's get started. First, just a quick blurb about me. My name is Brent Milner. I've been with ACT for 19 years now. I live in the mountains of Arizona. Yes, there are places in Arizona where it's not 110 degrees right now, and that's where I am. I like to wander around the woods. I have 3 dogs and a wife, and we all get along really well. So let's start here, and let's just say that I'm hosting an online event where my customers and my prospects can sign up to attend. So I'm going to have this online, maybe it's a Zoom call, and I want to allow anybody to sign up. After that event is over, after we've done our demonstration, I want to use a marketing campaign inside ACT just to reach out to everybody who signed up. And inside that campaign, I'm going to do a few things. I'm going to send them an email, of course, thanking them for signing up. I'm going to provide a link to that event, on-demand video or audio of that event that we had. But I also want to invite them to take advantage of a one-on-one consultation with someone from my team. And if they sign up, there's going to be some follow-up things that happen. I'm going to have a phone call that I make to them. We're going to create an opportunity record in ACT. And what we want to do is gently migrate those people into my sales team's pipeline. So we're going to start with segmenting, targeting the right people, the right time. And really, this is not just about queries, about performing searches. It's about finding the right people. And there are multiple ways to find the right people in ACT. You can use our advanced query and really build it out with different rules and filters to segment the audience correctly. Or you can do what I'm going to do. Here's another example is we can engage our audience to reach out to us, sort of pre-qualifying them based on them seeking me out. And so I'm going to start by doing that. I'm in ACT now. And again, I'm using ACT Premium Cloud. So if you're on ACT desktop, you may want to look at this because this is going to be something that you can do. If you move to the cloud, if you move to ActAdvantage, these will be a lot of things that are tools that you have at your fingertips. But for my Act Cloud audience, ActAdvantage audience, this is more focused towards you today. So I've signed into Act, and what I want to do first of all is I'm going to create an online event. And in the left navigation, if you're on ActAdvantage, you're going to see this additional features link on the left, and that's where we're going to start. From here, I'm going to create an online event. Now, I've done this ahead of time because I wanted to make sure that this event already took place sometime in the past so that I can show you how we progress from there. So I have two examples. One is a future event, and one is the event that I've already used to build this demonstration today. So what is online event management? Well, this is a powerful tool that helps you organize any online event that you have. And when I create an event here, Act is going to automatically add an activity for it in my task list on that event day. Then what I can do is I can publish a sign up page for my customers, for my prospects, or really anyone else who wants to register. And when they register, that data is going to be harvested and added into Act as contact records. Of course, if they already exist in my Act database, we're not going to duplicate those records, but we are going to still add those contacts to the event and anything else that I choose to do as a result. As the date and time of my event approaches, I can send out reminder emails to sort of help increase attendance, to remind people that there's an event coming up. So let's look at the event that I created. I'm going to edit this event that I created earlier to show you kind of the backbones of it. Here I can set general details for the date, the time, the duration of my event. Those are all listed here. Let me go to my general tab here. This gives me the name of my event. Here's the date and time when it's going to take place, the duration of it. I have an event detail, sort of a description of what my audience should expect by attending. Below this, I can make sure that everybody who signs up gets added to a specific group in Act. So that sort of helps me keep track of everybody who has signed up and puts them in a nice group in Act that I can use later on. If I'm charging money for this event and I have Act connected to a payment gateway to my account, then I can set up this charge fee down below. If I switch to the contact fields tab, you'll see that this lets me design which fields anybody who signs up should fill out. There's a lot of contact fields here. I'm really kind of keeping it simple. I'm only asking for their name, their email address, and their company. But I could add additional fields if I wanted to here. Those are the only ones that are pertinent to me in this instance. And you'll notice on my email field, I've got that marked as a key field. And what that really means is this is the field I'm using to check for duplicate entries in my Act database. The email tab allows me to send out reminders and any follow-ups if I desire. So I have a reminder set for 2 hours before the event just to remind people. If I had a follow-up, I could have set that here as well. And I could even create a drip campaign, which is what I did. I set a 1-day reminder minus 1 day. So that's 1 day before the event. I have an email that I've created to send that out 1 day in advance. So here's some basic setup that you can do. We'll come back to this, I think, a little bit later and look at some more details here. But I want to take a preview here of what this form would look like. So you can see it's very basic, very simple. I didn't get real complex with here, but I will send this link out to my customers, my prospects, and they'll fill out their name, their email, their company data. We even have the CAPTCHA thing that prevents robots from flooding your system with fake data. I could even change the colors here if I want to brand this to meet my company's colors and logos and things like that. Now, to see who signed up, what I'll do is I'll click the ellipses button here for my event and then choose View Submissions. So this helps me see these are the people who have already signed up for this event. That helps me kind of reach out to them, helps me get an idea of who signed up, how many people are coming, what to expect on that day. I'm also going to see this in Act if I go to the groups area. As I mentioned before, I created a group for this event. And if I go to my groups area and act, I have a group which is titled the same as my event. And from here, I can look and see everybody who's signed up. And this is going to be important for the second pillar of my project here when I talk about creating a marketing campaign. So by using this form, I've identified the people that I want to reach. In fact, they have come to me, and I've created a group in ACT. So now I'm really ready to move this effort through my marketing and into my sales team's pipeline. And that's what this next step is, integrating this workflow so that everything I've done in my marketing syncs over to my sales team. And there's multiple ways to sync, and we'll look at a few ideas for that as we go. But what I'm going to do is create a marketing campaign, and I'm also going to create what we call a web lead form, which will let me follow up with anybody and even spark some action with these prospective customers. So let me show you the first of those two things, the marketing campaign inside ACT. If I go to my marketing area, I'm going to look at a campaign where I will be following up with anybody who attended this webinar. So remember, they signed up for my online event. From that event, all those signups, I've added those contacts to a group in ACT, and now I've created this campaign. And if I look at the properties of this campaign, you'll see that this campaign is populated with people from that group, that summer 2025 product release group. So all this is automated. I'm not manually adding anybody into this campaign. The only thing I've done is set this up from the get-go, and I'm allowing it to run its course. As people sign up for my event, they get added to this campaign, which I would set this to go out sometime after the event is over. Now you'll see I do have some timings here on these arrows that are kind of goofy, and that's just because I wanted to make sure that this campaign was populated correctly for the demonstration today. But I'll cover that when we get to it. Let's start, first of all, by looking at this first step. There's an email step here, and this email is my thank you email. I'm going to look at the content of it just to show you what that email will look like. I've done 3 things here. And again, I'm keeping this really simple. You don't have to get very complex with a project like this. All I'm doing is I'm thanking them, because remember, they signed up for my event. So I'm thanking them for registering for this online demonstration that I have given. At this point, when they receive this email, the event will have already taken place, and this email will go out sometime after that event is over. So I'm thanking them for attending. I've got a link here that would point to a video library of that event or any other events that I've done in the past, so that they can view it again, or even share it maybe with somebody else who wasn't able to attend, or if they missed the event for some reason, I still got their back. They can come here and watch this event later on. But then down at the bottom, I've got a call to action here. So maybe during this event, I mentioned to my customers that we want some early adopters for a new product that we're releasing. We wanted to sort of elicit some signups for that. If you're interested in being an early adopter to help us get some feedback from this new product or this new service that we're offering, sign up here to be an early adopter. We're going to give you a discount on whatever that thing is. But, we expect to get your feedback. That's kind of like the trade that we're offering here. And so when they click this button, it's going to take them to a form where they can sign up to be that early adopter. And from that, I'm going to reach out to them, and we're going to have kind of a consultation meeting with one of my sales team, just to make sure, that they're the right sort of customer to be an early adopter, and that they understand everything we expect, that they know what they're getting from it. So that's what this next step is going to be. They click that button and they go to sign up to be an early adopter. Now remember this button though, because I'm going to be using this in a decision stage in my workflow. So if I go back to my workflow, we'll see that how that has taken place. So if they click this button, we're going to segment the audience. Those who click it go up the yes branch, and those who don't click it go down the no branch. And usually I would set this timer, not for one day. Again, I set that for one day just so I would have some good data in here. I would set this timer to maybe be 10 days. Give them enough time to read the email and click that button. And of course, your timing will be whatever you want it to be, but one day is probably not enough. So if they click the button, they'll go up this yes branch, where my first step will be to create an opportunity in ACT. And I'll talk more about that in a little bit. And then later on, I just set it for an hour later. I could have set it for the same time. But a little bit later, we're going to have another action step where we're creating a call activity on my task list in ACT. So I'm doing a couple things here. Anybody who clicks that button, I'm creating an opportunity and assigning it to them. And I'm also creating a call activity with them so that nobody will get forgotten as long as they click that button within the time frame that I have chosen here. So let's go back to that button from the first email. Where does it go? Well, I've pointed it to, as I mentioned before, a lead form that I created inside ACT. So in the additional features area of ACT Advantage, we have this section called Web Lead Forms. Now, a web lead form is a form that you can create online, which allows your customers to sign up for things. It could be a survey. Really, you're only limited to your own imagination there on what kind of form you're going to put there. But you want your customers to interact with it. You want them to submit it back to you. And then you want to utilize that data somehow. And you also want to interact with those customers in a meaningful way. So the form that I've created is this first adopters form. And let's have a look at it. I'm going to view this form. And again, I could have branded this. I just used the vanilla branding that comes with the product. I didn't spend a lot of time setting up colors or logos or anything like that. But as I view this form, at the top, I have the contact information that I'd like them to provide to me. Now, if they're new to ACT, this will create a contact record for them. In this instance, none of them should be new because they've already signed up for an event with me. So at this point, the contact records have all been created. I'm just gathering additional information from them now. If they share that link with somebody else, then somebody else could sign up for this form, and that would be okay in this example, because I'm still going to call them and sort of pre-qualify them through the consultation phone call. Down below, I have some additional questions on which products they would like to help adopt, which products they'd like to review. So they can choose one or multiple products here. They could choose a favorite product that they want. I even have a yes or no question to say, can you provide me some feedback? And if so, when can you provide that by? So this is kind of a reaction type field. If they select yes, I give them one more question. So you can have fields that react to previous fields as well on forums like this. So let's go back to my ACT tab here to see what this form really does. I'm going to edit this form, and I'm going to show the setup pages behind it. Now, the intro text is on the right, so this kind of shows the paragraph of information at the top of the form, kind of explaining, here's what we're hoping to accomplish here. And again, be as transparent as you can so that your customers know what you're doing, why you're doing it, and what they can expect from you, because they're giving you their data. And you want to make sure you're being totally above board with everything that they're doing here, or you're going to lose trust with them. So, and when you sign up for this form, here's what you can expect. Here's what I'm going to do with your data. Here's what you can expect to receive from me. So just be very clear and communicate that. And that'll help you build trust and a good relationship with prospects and customers. Down below, I have this footer text. And then at the end, the closing text. This is what shows up after they submit the form to me. So I tell them, thank you for signing up. You should expect to hear from me within 2 business days. Now, I'm also assigning these contacts to a group. So anybody who submits this form to me is going to be added to my Glassware first adopters group. So this is a group I created in ACT. You can see when you click this folder button here, you can see all the different groups that I have, and that's just the one that I selected. So it looks at your ACT groups and lets you assign contacts to a group when they submit that form to you. Very similar to the event sign up form that I did earlier. But this is kind of the next stage of the project I'm doing. These are customers who are really interested in taking part. So they're hot leads for me. I want to make sure I capture that. Also, I can choose in the contact fields tab at the top what sort of data I want to collect here. Now, again, this time I'm collecting as much contact data as I can because I want my ACT database to be robust. I want it to be complete. I want to have as much data as I can about my contacts. So in this area, I am linking all of these fields to a field in ACT. And I've made all these fields required, by the way, also. So they have to fill something out in each of those. And then I also have a questions tab where now I can ask additional questions. What products are you interested in? Can you provide feedback to me? Yes or no questions. So I have several different questions here. Drop down, multi-select, yes, no, date type questions. Lots of different questions available inside this event, inside this web lead form area. Now, this is exactly where my marketing process is kind of going to end, and I'm going to hand it over now to the sales team. Because what I'm going to do is every morning, somebody, probably me, but maybe my sales manager or someone else will do a check in the morning to see what new leads have come in. And we could do it throughout the day, but maybe at the beginning of the day is the best time to do it. And so here's how that workflow will go. First of all, I need to make sure my tasks are assigned correctly to my sales team members' calendars. So I'm going to go to my task list in ACT, and I'm going to just look at the tasks that I have on my list. Now, I know that these tasks are coming in from 2 different places, and I'm going to talk about that in just a second. But one is going to come from my web lead form that we just looked at, and the other, if you recall, comes from the marketing campaign. Now, this is overkill, but I wanted to demonstrate that these tasks can come in from 2 different areas inside ACT. But I recommend you just choose one or the other. Otherwise, you're going to have multiple tasks coming in. But again, I wanted you to see both possibilities. So activities that come from my form will always begin with the words follow up, because that's how the form titles the tasks. It says follow up, and then it gives the name of that form that I created. And I can go back and show you where this comes from. If I go back into my additional features area and we look at the web lead forms, and I edit this form, I can scroll down to the follow-up section, contact follow-up. I've checked this box to say automatically schedule a follow-up activity. This will always be a call activity, and I've scheduled it for 2 days after they submit the form. So the activity will be created for 2 days after they've hit submit. That way somebody will call them on time. Now, this is going to be assigned to me, the form manager. If I choose to create an activity in this way, then what I would have to do is either make those phone calls myself, or I would have to go into my task list and then reassign those contacts to whomever I think should be making those calls. So that would be something I would just do probably every day as new tasks come in. Let's go back to the task list and I'll show you that. So it's pretty simple to do, but I know some of you probably have not had the chance to ever do this. So I'm going to look for one of my tasks. We'll choose this guy, Robert Barker, and I'm going to reassign him. So I'm going to edit this task. And I'm going to reassign him to Tony because I know Tony is is in charge of his region. So in the organizer dropdown, because I'm the default organizer, I'm going to scroll down. I'm going to choose Tony. He's the sales manager for that region. I could change the date and time here if I want to. I may want to remove Robert Barker from this invite area because as I make this change, it's going to send him an email, and I probably don't want to send an email to him to say, hey, I'm going to be calling you. But maybe I do. I don't know. It's up to you guys. And instead, I might want to just put him in the associate with category. So if you leave him as an invite, that's fine. If you remove that invite to prevent an email from going out, make sure you associate with that contact here in the associate with area. Otherwise, Tony won't know who to call. So I'm going to make sure I associate that correctly here. Down below, you'll notice in the description area, ACT has gathered everything that Robert filled out on his form, including his contact data, the types of products that he's interested in. I know the formatting is kind of cluttered here, but you can sift through it and sort of discern what it was that Robert had selected on that form when he created it or when he submitted it to me. I could, if I needed to, change the date and time when this phone call should take place. If I'm happy with that, I guess I should uncheck timeless and really schedule a time here. Let's say I want him to call him at 9 a.m. And then I'll click save. Now that activity has been created. Oh, I scheduled it for the past. Oops. I was not paying attention there. I want to make this in the future. There we go. So now this will be reassigned to Tony. It'll show up on his task list as something that he needs to do on, I think, Fridays when I set it up for. Now let's look at an activity created from the campaign, just so that we can show you both sides of the coin here. So if I go back into my marketing campaign, what I'm going to do is go to the workflow, and we'll look at that activity action stage. Here it is, the call activity. Now, I can't edit this or view this until I pause the campaign. So this is just something that I need to do to show it to you. You won't need to do this later on, but I need to pause this campaign so that we can actually look at the details of that call activity. So let me just quickly pause this campaign. And now you can see it's paused right here. Now I can look at the activity, the call activity that I created. If I edit actions, and if I click edit for this activity I created, we can see the details. So when you create the activity, this is what you'll do. You'll create an activity. You'll set the call for it. It could be a call. It could be a meeting. It could be an appointment, whatever you want it to be. In this instance, you can choose. From the web lead form, we couldn't choose. It had to be a call. I gave my activity a name. I added some text just for the salesperson to let them know, give them some context of what this activity is all about. And in this dropdown at the top, this is really useful because from here, I can let ACT auto assign this activity to the record manager of the contact. So if I'm keeping track of that, if I'm making sure I'm assigning contacts to appropriate record managers, ACT will use that record manager here as long as I choose use account manager. Or I could assign it to any specific user at my company by choosing them from this list. So either way, you can do it. And so that's how we created the call activity from the campaign inside ACT. So let's go back here again, and just to make sure that everything's working, I'm going to reactivate this campaign. I want to make sure that it doesn't stop. So I'm going to activate that again. So now let's look at the task list again to see how we would proceed each day from an activity, from a call activity that comes from a marketing campaign. And again, the benefit of the campaign activity is that it auto assigns it to a record manager. So I don't have to go and reassign any of these tasks. They're already set up to go to the person who it involves. So for example, let's pretend we're logging in as one of my sales reps. We'll say I'm logging in as Eric. I'm going to show only the tasks that are assigned to Eric. here on this task list. And that's what this select users button does. It lets me view tasks assigned to specific users in my ACT account. So I can see I have one activity. It's assigned to Eric. This is one that came from the campaign where he needs to call Charlie Jones. So when he logs in, he'll see this activity. He can edit it if he wants to look at it, to see the details. And we'll see, okay, here's an activity that's scheduled. I know this is set in the past, but I did this a few days ago. He would have called Charlie on that date, and he would have had the details down below of what to talk to Charlie about. So this starts the sales process. We've handed it off. We've moved from the marketing campaign into the sales pipeline, where now Eric can pick up this call and begin those conversations. Now, as part of this handoff from marketing to sales, I've also created opportunity records in ACT for each person who submitted that form to me, and it all happens within the campaign. Again, there's two ways to create opportunities, and I'm going to show both of them to you. And just like the tasks, I really recommend only choosing one of these methods, because otherwise you're going to see some duplicate opportunities in your list, and that could get confusing. So let's go back to the email campaign, and I'll look at where we created an opportunity for everybody who clicked that button in the email. Now, in this instance, the opportunity gets created when they clicked that button. Let me show you that button one more time. When they receive that email and they click the button to be an early adopter, that early adopter sign up button, this is what's going to trigger the opportunity to take place. Not the completion of the form, but just clicking the button. So they could click the button and close the web page, and then it's going to create an opportunity anyway. So maybe that's not the best, but at least they clicked it. So you do have a record of them clicking that button. If something happened and they didn't submit the form, they closed their browser, they got busy, whatever it is, at least you've already captured them by using this method. So what happens is they click that button again, it goes down the yes branch here, and then we're creating an opportunity for them. Let's look at again, to look at this opportunity, I guess I need to pause this campaign again. So let's do that so that we can look at the details of the opportunity that gets created here. So I'm going to edit this opportunity. And in here where it says add opportunity, let's edit that just to look at the details of it. And you'll notice again, I've just like the task manager, or just like the call activity, I'm using the account manager. So it's going to auto assign this opportunity to whoever the record manager is for each contact. I can also choose which sales cycle I want to use, which process I want to use. ACT has, I think, 3 processes that come out of the box. You can create your own custom process, of course, in the opportunities area, but here's where you would select. And maybe you create a whole new process for a project like this. You would choose that process again, then choose the stage you want to drop them in, so that when this opportunity is created, they're already in the correct stage. And that's it. Give it a name so that when this opportunity is created, it has a title. And that's it. That opportunity will be ready to go, and you'll start to see those show up automatically on your sales pipeline as people click that button in the original email. So let's look at one of these. I'm going to go to my opportunities area, and these opportunities will be titled Summer 2025 Product Early Adopter. I think I have one of these here. Let's just sort by name so it's easier to find. Got a lot of opportunities in here. Here we go. So what I did is every day as these opportunities get created, just to sort of make a little more sense to me, what I do is I get the name of their company and I add that to the title of the opportunity so that when I'm looking at the list, it's pretty clear to me right away who each opportunity is for. Otherwise, I would have a lot of opportunities with identical names, and that's not a problem, but this just helps me get my mind around it before I even open the opportunity. The next thing I would do here is I would go to the history tab for the opportunity. And inside this history tab, you can see what products they submitted or what products they chose that they were interested in. So I have that in my details area. I can expand this, I guess, to make it look a little bit bigger. But this gives me the feedback from the form they submitted. And because of that, I know, okay, here's what they were interested in. And as I'm making this phone call to them, what I can do is go to my products and services tab and just pre-add those products in. And then as I'm talking to them, ask them, how many they want and all the other conversations that you have in a sales call. But I have all that data here inside the opportunity record, especially that form that they submitted to me. That's pretty valuable information, so that as I'm talking to them, I have that form data where I can say, "Oh, I know you filled out this form and you said you were interested in X, Y, Z." And so now I'm ready to go. This opportunity is on its way. It's in its first stage, and the sales team is taking care of business as it goes. Now, let's look at the second way to create an opportunity. And this way happens when somebody submits that web form to me. Again, you're not going to probably don't want to use both of these methods because you'll have some collision here. But choose one or the other. And really, I was thinking about this, which way is better? And they each have their benefits. It really depends on how you run your sales team, how you want these leads to be conveniently added to your pipeline. So if I look at my web lead form again, and I go to edit, you'll notice there is an opportunity tab at the top. When I click that opportunity tab, it says I can check this box to automatically create an opportunity as soon as they click submit. So there's no time delay. As soon as they click submit, that opportunity will be created. And then I can name it. So I'm going to use this form name. You have these merge field tags down below. So I'm naming my opportunities by their form name, which is this Summer 2025 Product First Adopters. And then I've added next to that the name of their company. So whoever submits that form back to me, I'm just appending that title with the name of their company. Again, a little more convenient for me because now I know exactly which company each of these opportunities is for. You could have chosen contact name too if you work that way. That works also. And again, just like the opportunity creation inside the marketing campaign, I'm going to choose my process in ACT and the initial stage where they should be dropped into. And then I'm setting an estimated close date of 2 months. I could have made that 1 month. It just really depends on how long you think it's going to take to work this through the pipeline. And again, that can be changed and edited later on. But here's where the opportunity creation comes from the web form. Now let's go back to the opportunities area and I'll show you an example of one of those. So these are all going to be named Summer 2025 Product First Adopters with the company name automatically added to the end of that. And I think I have a bunch of these here. Yeah, it's adopters instead of adopter. That's how I differentiated it. So when I look at one of these that gets automatically created from the web lead form, the only thing I may need to do here then is to change who the record manager is, because by default, it'll be assigned to me. So as these opportunities get created, I would need to go in here and decide, all right, who should own each of these? And that's something I can do once a day or, in the morning or after lunch, whatever it is. And then again, also I should add products and services, but that's all going to be just like the other method that we looked at. That's all going to be brought in from the stage of them submitting that form to me. So I'll have all that data here on the history tab conveniently so that I can just sort of look and see which products they are interested in and add those to the products and services tab. Or I can wait until I make that phone call and I just refer to this data as I'm talking to the customer. Now, from here on, you can track your opportunity records just as normal. You're going to call your contact. You're going to add these products. You're going to add these services. You work it through your normal sales process. The key here is that these leads have been really automatically served on a platter to you straight from the marketing efforts. We've synced our marketing team and our sales team together just by creating an event, um, having an email goes out that goes out to people who signed up for that event, and then providing them another sign up form if they're interested in proceeding with either purchasing our products, signing up for some services, or in this case, acting as a tester or an early adopter for a product or a service that I offer. And that takes us to our last pillar here, really, which talks about our metrics. What we want to do is we want to look at how things are performing so that we can go back and now optimize our marketing. What did we do well? What didn't we do well? What's working? How are things turning out for us on all stages? Did they sign up for our event? Did they read the email that we sent out? If so, did they access the form that we provided? If so, did they submit it back to us? And then what are the results of those forms? So we can go in here and really kind of look at all these different areas and kind of figure out, is it working? What's working correctly? And we can focus on the things that matter the most here in this last section. So I'm going to begin by going to my marketing area, and I'm going to look at the campaign that was sent out. So here's the campaign. We've looked at this 2 or 3 times now. We've examined each step, what happens in each step. But I want to look at the statistics for the campaign as a whole. And I can do that by going to my actions menu here and choosing campaign dashboard. Now the campaign dashboard is really meant to give me results on everything that happens in this campaign. Now you could have campaigns that have multiple email steps, multiple decision steps, and this will help you determine what's working, what's not. So I can see that I had some emails sent out, how many were delivered. I had a couple bounces, so that would tell me, okay, I need to maybe follow up with those customers and find out, do I have the right email address for you, for one thing. I can see that of the 27 emails that were sent out, 20 people have opened them. That's a pretty good return rate, I think. So I know I'm doing something right. If this number was really low, I would go back and say, why aren't they opening my email? Maybe my subject lines are triggering spam filters. Some words that you put in your subject lines can automatically cause those emails to get shuttled away, and your customers will never see those. And we have some articles and some videos. I think even Andy Wood has done at least 2 entire webinars on that topic, email deliverability. I'll show you where you can watch those at the end of this session so you can get better at these open numbers. These open rates will get higher if you follow his suggestions there. But I can scroll down and I can see what has happened over time. I've got a graph that says these are the dates that emails went out. I think I wanted to populate this with a few more things. So as more people, sign up for my event, these emails are going to go out to them. And then as my customers open those emails and click links, then this blue chart will show that where those click rates came from. And on the right, I'm going to see the last 100 transactions. So this will be the actual people who opened those emails. Did they just open the email? Did they click a specific link in that email? If they did, what was the date and time that those things took place? So I've got a lot of good data here inside this dashboard, this campaign dashboard. And this can all be exported to Excel as well if you need to share this across several different teams. We can get even more granular here. We can look at that specific email itself, and we can view the statistics for it. Once these emails go out, you can look at statistics for each individual email. Again, if I had several emails, I could look them up one at a time. But here, I could view statistics like opens. Who has opened this email? And it'll give me a list of all the email addresses when they opened that email, if they opened it more than once. I can also look at clicks to see what links did they click in my email. So did they click to see my video library to view that original event on demand? Did they click the link to go to my web lead form? All this shows in that area for each of my customers or contacts. And then again, I mentioned bounces earlier. I can look at bounces to see what happened. What were these email addresses correct? What kind of error message came up so that I can, send that off to whatever team I have to kind of follow up to make sure my data is good. So that's additional follow-up data you can look at. Oh, we can also look at a heat map. This is kind of a fun thing. Once that email goes out and you edit the email step, you can click the heat map, and this will tell you where people were clicking. So I have 2 links here. If we had a bunch of different buttons, you could get a lot more data, but I wanted to see how many people clicked to view the demonstration on demand. I get my total clicks versus unique clicks. And this is kind of overlapping it. You can minimize these if you want to make it a little easier to read. Click these little minus buttons. And then my second is the early adopter sign up. I want to see how many people clicked that. I don't know why I clicked it twice for some people, but I guess I wanted to show different numbers here. So that shows me that 20 unique people clicked this button to sign up. And that's the click map. That's kind of a neat thing. It shows you what people are clicking on inside your emails. And again, if you look at the click map and you see that some of your buttons have 0 on it, now you have great feedback. They're not clicking on this. So we ask questions. Why aren't they clicking on it? Is it because I didn't make that button or that link prominent enough? Is the wording misleading and confusing? Is it tucked away somewhere where they can't see it? Is there too much stuff on my emails and they're just, overburdened and they just, signed out? Sometimes there's too much overload and I can't read this email. There's too much on there. So that's some follow-up activity that you can do with your marketing teams to kind of sort of analyze and figure out what's working and what's not working based on the data that you can collect in ACT. I can also get some feedback. If I go to my additional features area, let's say I want some feedback from the event itself. If I go to my online event, I can look at the original event that started this whole thing. And I can go to this ellipses button. I think I showed this to you before. I can view the submissions here. This will show me the people who signed up, when they signed up, and so on. If there was an amount that needed to be paid, that would be registered here as well. I can get some feedback from my web lead forms. This is kind of fun. So if I click the report icon button next to this lead form, it's going to show me a bunch of things. It's going to show me which questions were asked and how those questions were answered. Now, you may notice the percentages are off a little bit on this first pie chart, and that's because it's a multiple select button. So the percentages are correct, and the pie chart also shows kind of unique submissions here. You can switch from a pie chart to a bar chart too if you prefer that. And of course, all this can be exported to Excel or a CSV file. If this form has been out for a long time, maybe you're keeping a form like this for whatever reason out for 6 months, you can use the date filters at the top to filter responses based on certain date ranges. And then that might give you a whole different set of data from maybe 1 month to the next. And then the last thing I want to show you here is how you can get creative by building and using some charts inside ACT Insight. So let's go to the ACT Insight area. And one of the charts that's created for you by default, when you come into ACT Insight, it will, the first time you ever come to ACT Insight, it'll show you this Key Insights view. Now, there will be a button on the right, this little cog button. That's how you open this panel. And inside this panel, you have a bunch of options. One of those options is to select different views. By default, you're going to have Key Insights, which is kind of like the overarching view of your business. Then Sales Metrics, which shows you charts based on how your sales team is doing, how your products are doing. But the one I want to focus on is this one, Campaign Metrics, because this is going to be built straight from your marketing campaigns. And so one of the benefits of using a marketing campaign to create an opportunity record is those opportunities will then be fed into a chart inside ACT automatically. So this is showing me if I had multiple campaigns, they would all line up here. But this is showing me from my one campaign that I've run, I've got a total value of $5,400 and change of campaigns in the pipeline from that campaign alone. So that tells me, great, I've got a lot of potential here already. And this is maybe day one of the campaign. On the right, it's showing me the account of opportunities that have been created by the campaign. So far, so good. Now, if I would have focused all of my opportunities to be created from the marketing campaign and not having some opportunities created from the form submission, these numbers would be higher. But I sort of split my audience. And so that's why this number looks kind of low. Down below, I had some fun with it. I admit I'm kind of a nerd and I like building charts like this. And so what I did is I built a couple charts that shows the total number of opportunities assigned to each sales rep that have been generated from this whole effort. So as I'm building these opportunities and assigning them out to the appropriate sales reps, this chart will build and it'll show me, okay, Eric's got 4 opportunities and Tony's got 3 and so on and so forth. Now this is an interactive chart. So if you click on any of those bars, it'll tell you every single opportunity that resulted from this campaign. It's kind of nice. And then I built this other chart just because I like pie charts. So what I did here is I said, as these opportunities progress through the sales pipeline, I can keep track of them and I can see where they are in the stages. So right now, the bulk of my opportunities are in my second stage. And that makes sense. This is where I call my customers and I figure out what they need. That's my needs assessment stage. I would expect that. That should be where most of them should fall right now. But as we have those conversations, we progress it through the next stage of the pipeline and the next stage, and this graph will change over time. But this is a great way for me to just focus only on this campaign. And I built these out. I'll show you one of these. I was able to build these out because in this campaign, I'm offering up new products that I haven't offered anywhere else before. And so I can focus on building these charts based on those products being a part of an opportunity. I have videos on how to create these advanced charts inside our ACT video library, and I'll show you where those are found as well. But that's something you can do. You can create these charts. Down below, there's even a campaign results chart. And what this does is it shows you unique opens and clicks and deliver emails, each email at a time. So you can see, are they being delivered? Are customers opening these emails or not? But this shows you a few different ideas of what you can do sort of on the back end. As this whole marketing campaign ends, you can kind of look and see, was it successful? Did this accomplish our goals? Did we set goals at the very beginning? And if so, how did we do? Okay, so that brings us kind of to the conclusion here. And as we wrap up today's session, I want to leave you with a reminder that you don't have to do this by yourself. Okay. Whether you're just getting started with ACT, and a lot of you are, and some of you have been around ACT for a long time, but you've never really gotten into ACT marketing automation. Or maybe you have been doing that, but you want to optimize what you're already doing. Whatever your case may be, we're here to help you. And if you need help setting up your account or even understanding how marketing automation works, or making sure that everything is configured correctly for you, we can offer support to you through our marketing setup and configuration service. So if you need help getting more creative or more strategic with your campaigns, we can also send you to our campaign design and automation service. This will connect you with experts, and they're there to help you build and launch and even track effective campaigns. This team is going to walk you through everything from templates and landing pages to your surveys, how to view the metrics, and more. And maybe deliverability is your concern, or even making sure you're being compliant in the emails you're sending out. That's an important thing to understand. We have a deliverability and compliance service, and this team is designed to protect you, to protect your sender reputation. That is maybe the most crucial part of marketing automation, is maintaining your reputation. We want to help you improve inbox placement, like I mentioned before, making sure your emails don't get shuttled off to that spam folder, that dreaded spam folder. And we also want to make sure that you're meeting key requirements like the GDPR and opt-out management. You have to make sure you're compliant on those things. So if you're interested in any of these services, or maybe you just want to learn more, maybe you don't know what you need, give us a call at the numbers on the screen here, whether you're in the US or the UK. You can also reach out to your ACT certified consultant. Whichever way you go, we're here to support your success. So lastly, and as I said at the beginning, and we mean this, I sincerely appreciate seeing so many of you each month. I see a lot of familiar names every month. I'm glad to see you there. I like seeing new names as well. We have a webpage, act.com/explore, where you can sign up for any upcoming webcasts. If you know somebody else who you think might be interested in attending these every month, share that link with them. And then even there, you can view any previous webinars that you may have missed from previous months. There's a lot of great content here, again, ranging from product how-to guidance to best practices for your sales team, for your marketing teams, to guidance on how to do reports, how to look at analytics. You name it. With these recordings, you can watch them at your own pace when it's convenient to you. And you can also email us at team@act.com. The email's at the bottom there. If you have suggestions or ideas for future webinars like this one, we love getting that feedback from everybody. And that's all we have for today. So thank you again, everyone, for attending. Of course, we're going to stay on the line if you have any questions that you'd like to ask in the Q&A panel. We'll do that now. Everybody in the US, stay safe, stay cool in this heat dome that we're doing right now. It's no fun, but please stay safe. And everybody have a great summer, and we'll see you all again next month.